What is up, everybody? This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Miggs, joined as always by my co-host Andrew. Don't get it twisted, Lapache, and this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you so much for joining us on this lovely, cool, slightly still warm Sunday morning. We're having quite the technical difficulty this morning, or at least I am. If you can hear my voice, it's because um, sounds a little funny. I got a little cough going. I'm getting over it. So there's going to be some points where I might have my comrade Andrew take over momentarily if my voice kind of gives out. But oddly enough, when I'm feeling better is when my voice sounds the worst, which is kind of right now. So I'm already feeling better. It's just that I sound like, the sisters from The Simpsons, like I've been smoking for 20 fucking years. So on top of that, for whatever reason, my laptop decided to take a shit this morning, and two of my three USB A ports aren't working. So either I get my mic plugged in and working, or my camera. So we said, fuck it, let's just do the camera, and we'll get the sound. I'm gonna try to get as close to my laptop mic as I can, so you guys can hear me as loud, which again puts a bit of a strain on my voice. But I am here with my Ricola cough drops to get crack-a-lacking this morning, because this is what I do for you guys. This is the sacrifice we put out for y'all, because we don't want to leave you guys without any weekly shows. But that means, we got something to talk about. There weren't many fights. There were some fights that we're going to be talking about. Some Pacquiao making his debut. Not that Pacquiao, but another one, of course. We're going to be talking about that and the very weird decision at the end of that fight. We're going to be talking about Jake Paul. We are a few weeks away from his probably the biggest mistake of his professional career, fighting Anthony Joshua on the 19th, I believe is the date. So we're a few weeks away from that. I want to make sure I get the date right here momentarily. So it could be the 13th. It's one of those next following weekends, but I'll get the date right here before the end of the show. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about Jake Paul's sparring partners and a little bit of a tip that he's getting from a former Anthony Joshua opponent. We're going to be talking about that, of course. We're going to be talking about Lamont Roach, because Lamont Roach said some pretty interesting things on a recent podcast regarding PBC and his rematch with Gervonta Tank Davis, or lack thereof, because there was none. But it's funny that he mentioned he dropped a couple of gems there that we want to touch on and make sure that we get crack-a-lacking. And of course, it is officially fight week. Speaking of Lamont Roach, he will be fighting Pitbull Cruz this weekend in San Antonio, Texas, if I'm not mistaken. Saturday. It's going to be live as PBC does it, Amazon Prime pay-per-view, with a couple of pretty good cards or fights on that card. So we're going to be talking about that, a bit of a preview, and give you guys, I guess, to some degree, our predictions, because we always like to throw in predictions in there, and then some of the odds, because I happen to catch one of them, the sheet here. So before we get into all of those details, because there's plenty to talk about, Andrew, what's going on, dude? How was your Thanksgiving? This is like the post-Thanksgiving show. How did that go? How you doing?
Doing good. Still have my voice.
All right.
So yes. So it was a healthy Thanksgiving. But yeah, no, we're doing good. Good turkey. Just had turkey and ham this year, nothing special. And oh no, you know what? What was it? I think they had roast beef there. Yeah, my mom's house
Mm.
had turkey and roast beef, and then my other side had turkey and ham. So it was very good. We did good this year. Weather's really cold. We're supposed to be getting a storm here, aren't we? Are you guys seeing a part of that storm that's coming to America?
Not yet, at least. It's
No,
coming from
there's
our
nothing
side.
about rains next week. No talk about rains.
Not that I've seen. Not that I've seen. Although it did rain right before Formula One, but nothing since really.
Yeah, so we're supposed to be seeing a lot of rain over here in Northern California. So I got the yard prepared for that. We had to do that, and that's about it, man. Just hanging out. I'm on call. That sucks. I
Ooh.
might get a call at any time. Let everyone know that. But yeah, I'm on call this week. I always take Thanksgiving because it helps out with the holidays.
Mm.
Um, so, but that's it for me, dude.
How about tamales? You getting tamales?
No, I'm not this. That's only Christmas. We're
Ah,
we're
gotcha, gotcha.
we're Mexican Americans, bro. So we only do tamales on Christmas.
That's understandable. Everybody in our block is selling them at this point, so we're like, oh, like let's see who makes the best tamales on the block.
Yep.
You might think like, Minx, is your voice like that because you got in a huge argument with a family member on Thanksgiving? No, I didn't. We don't do that shit here at that house. But it's like somebody decides to voice their opinion, their political opinion on Thanksgiving dinner, and it's like, what? No. So on the rare occasion, I might have to step aside and cough real quick. But that wasn't the reason. It was just, out and about. It's that time of the year. And like I said, I'm getting over it. So it's not even so much that I'm feeling bad because I'm not. It's just that I sound, again, like The Simpsons.
And yeah, and it's just being around everyone, eh? All those
Yeah.
unfamiliar germs start circling,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
Totally understandable. So you got to do the typical stuff, right? Got to replace your toothbrush. You got to pull out the fucking cough syrup and the cough drops, which I have plenty of here. And like I said, my laptop decided to take a shit on the worst possible day. But
you have that one person in the Safeways, the grocery line that always starts coughing, and everyone just eagle-eyes her. What the fuck? She's all dying, trying to hold it in. Yeah, no, it's that time of year, definitely.
And you're like in front of them in line. You're like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah, hold your breath. Eh?
Yeah, like you can hold it for the next 30 seconds while you leave the goddamn store. Oh my. All right. Well, we're gonna make the show as good as we possibly can, as we normally do, guys. Jake Paul. I just confirmed the date here, the 19th, December 19th. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, just to make sure, because getting the dates a little confused there, because we got some stuff coming up. But apparently, Jake Paul has been getting some pretty good rounds in with some damn good sparring partners. Clearly, he's taking this extremely seriously, which I'm sure he should. But from what I've read online, he's having these great sparring sessions with people who legitimately give him a shot at possibly beating Anthony Joshua. Let's see here. Guys like Jared Anderson. All right. Now, Jared has been kind of in a weird decline in his career recently. And I don't necessarily mean losses because he only lost once, but just his attitude towards the game. It sounds like he's got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So I'm not sure the quality of sparring he's helping or he's giving Jake Paul with, but maybe that's a completely different matter. Maybe he's totally focused when he's training with Jake Paul, and his career is another story. I don't know. But the real big baby, Jared Anderson, Frank Sanchez, Cuban heavyweight, who either was or still is in Camp Canelo or with the Reynosos. I don't remember specifically if he's left yet, but that guy is very technical. Not the most exciting boxer, but very technical. He definitely can help Jake Paul quite a bit on the technique side. So that one, honestly, I'm a little more like, oh shit, that one's more legit. Jared Anderson, not so much. But also WBO, or I should say former WBO cruiserweight champ Lawrence Okolie. Wow, okay. Dude's, he's legit. He's like, all right, let me go ahead and bring in some legit people in here. And he's done it before. He's talked about Shakur, and he's talked about Montana Love. So he's had people in his camp that are legitimate and help him. And maybe that's what's helping him here. But these guys, it wasn't just sparring partners. It's big dudes. These guys are fucking big, and they're in there. They got pop, and he's taking this fight 100% seriously, which is great to see. Whether or not that I help him in the end, I guess we'll find out in a couple of weeks. But Andrew, when you saw that these are the guys that he's training with, and of course he posted on social media, so it looks good. But what was your first impression when you saw, oh shit, these are some of the guys that he's getting working?
Impressed with the lineup, but they haven't shown me anything as far as how the sparring is going or what he looks like, right?
Oh, like actual footage or something?
That's actually footage, yeah. Look, he's got a lineup as if he's a champion. And we all know that Jake Paul is not a champion. As a matter of fact, he's still learning on the job. Is this too much talent in front of him? Can he be overtrained for this fight? You know what I mean? When are they going to stop having Okolie's the former WBO cruiserweight champ. He's the current WBC heavyweight silver champ, for whatever that means. Maybe it means he's ranked third in the fucking WBC. Yeah. Let's say he's a top 10 contender for the WBC, though, right? Yeah, that sounds better. Frank Sanchez, a veteran. We all know he's been there for a while, right? He knows what he's doing. And then you have Jared Anderson, who's just young and full of power. It's short notice. Did these guys just come in the last 2 weeks that this fight was signed, or have they been here for a while? Because if they just came in, I can tell you right now, they're putting a beat down on this young man, Jake Paul, or they're holding back, and that ain't helping Jake Paul. And I'm gonna go with they're holding back. I'm gonna go with they like the. What do you think he's giving him? $1,000 a sparring match, $10,000 for the training. You know, for the whole thing. You know what kind of deal? I heard Mike used to give away $1,000. That was 30 years ago. So maybe that price has went up a little for sparring. But they're making significant money, man. Think you're going to try to knock the guy out on day one?
No way.
Probably not, right? So I like the lineup. But yeah, is it a little bit too much talent? Probably. Is it a little too short of notice? Probably. I still got to go with Joshua. That's why I'm giving Jake Paul. He's gonna make it through the first 3. I don't see him getting past 5. I think it's a fixed fight. If a person like Jake Paul makes it out of 5 rounds with the ex-heavyweight champ, this is a real fight. This is not an exhibition. So our former champion should not be holding back. There should be no pulling of the punches. There should be no highlights like Mike Tyson where he was going to throw a right hand and then doesn't, totally pulls off. There will be none of this. He should be taking this like a professional. Before anything else, if Anthony Joshua acts like a professional in that ring, Jake Paul doesn't see 5 rounds.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. And I'm glad that you mentioned if these guys were like kind of last minute, because of course they had to have been, right? There's no way he would have these guys sparring for fucking Gervonta, right? I mean, that doesn't make sense. Right?
Yeah, you answered that question. My bad. I forgot about Gervonta.
It's like, holy shit, I got Gervonta. Let me get in fucking Frank Sanchez in this bitch.
Oh, that's fucking
I highly doubt that was the case. But it makes sense. It probably was. And that means what? These guys are not going 100%, right? I mean, obviously you don't, but yeah, they're not putting in that kind of pop to put him in those difficult positions that are going to allow him to escape those spots when he's in the fight with Anthony Joshua. So that one makes sense. I don't know how much he's paying them. I'm sure they'll be getting paid handsomely, right? For it's like, hey, give me some rounds, give me some tips. So Andrew, what about somebody who has beaten Anthony Joshua before? Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz, from what you can tell here, isn't necessarily training with them, not that we've seen at least. The only picture I've seen is one that looks AI generated. So I don't even know if they're actually training together. From what I can tell here, it looks like Andy Ruiz told TMZ Sports a few things. So it wasn't even directly at Jake Paul per se, but Ruiz said this: I think it's about having faith. Don't be scared. Do what you do. Just be fearless. Just get him with the right hand. Oh, fuck, easier said than done. Just get him with the right hand. That's what Jake Paul is looking for, that right hand. If he lands, he can probably do good. A lot of people underestimate Jake Paul, but in reality, he's a good fighter and he's dedicated. And that's what I like about him. I'm going to hit him up and try to give him some little pointers. So this is Andy Ruiz talking to TMZ Sports saying, hey, I think he can do it. I think he can do it this way with the right hand. And the funny thing, the way he says it, he's like, just get him with the right hand. Yeah, that's the most easiest thing in the fucking world. Just get him with the right hand, sure. Right. Even if you do land it, do you even have the pop to stop the dude? But apparently he's going to be reaching out to Jake Paul and giving him some tips on how to get past Anthony Joshua, or maybe survive. Maybe survive, not necessarily beat him, but maybe survive, because that's kind of what Andy Ruiz did in that second fight. He was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna, not get knocked out at this point. But are these pointers really worth anything? Like, do you think they're going to help him to any degree?
No, it's not a good game plan is to get a bunch of advice from a lot of former fighters and then to walk in and try to fight a heavyweight champ. That's never a good game plan. Jake Paul, whenever you're taking on a fighter the caliber of an Anthony Joshua, you should have a trainer that you're already familiar with. He knows your limits, your boundaries, and you guys come up with the game plan to try to beat the style that is in front of you. And that's it. There's only one, there's not at this point in Jake Paul's career, only having 12 fights, I think we said last week.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be anyone else but his trainer that knows everything about him at this point. So no, it's not a good look. And that's why you don't even want the sparring partners to give tips during sparring, because I guarantee you in the first 20 seconds, they're going to be like, oh, hold on, you did that wrong. Oh, hold on, you did that wrong. Jake's going to be like, hey, hold the fuck on. I just need to throw punches here. I don't need you to critique everything that I'm doing wrong. But when you really do, Jake Paul's doing a lot of things wrong in the ring. So you really can't. It's been a shit show. It's been a clown circus. They got to take it like this. They got a pathy band on his back. Tell him to bite down on that mouthpiece, and you only got to take one. Remember that. Don't be no fucking Rocky Balboa, Jake. You take one shot, and you go down. That's it. That's all anyone's looking for, man. That's it. We're not. Don't go out there and try to save your all your reputation on this fight, dude, because you're gonna get hurt. You will get hurt, if not put to sleep. I'm banking he gets put to sleep if he comes to do anything else but to fucking run and survive. And the first shot that he takes, he goes down.
Yeah, take some tips from Bruce Seldon. If you guys want to take a look at some Bruce Seldon fights, that dude, you fucking swing and you miss, and that fucker just flops all over the place of LeBron style. So maybe a little more convincing than that, perhaps. But
defense has never been his high point. He's going to need every bit of defense when he takes a right hand from this guy. This is not no ordinary man. And I think Jake Paul should have noticed that when he was looking at his fucking chest the other day and noticed he couldn't see around him. It was just that had to have been a what the fuck moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a reality check. A reality check.
Yep.
And mind you, this is a legitimate fight. It's supposed to be. It's going to count on the record. It's going to be legit. It's going to be 8 rounds, 10-ounce gloves, which is rather standard for heavyweights. So it's supposed to be a real thing. It's not an exhibition. None of that shit. This is supposed to be a real deal. So are we going to get another Ngannou knockout? It's looking like it. Maybe he can last. Maybe that will be his saving grace. He's like, you know what? I didn't get knocked out in 2 rounds like Ngannou did. I went 4 rounds with that motherfucker.
There you go.
Maybe that's like his saving grace, right?
Yeah, absolutely right on that one.
That's essentially what I think he's going to try and do. And there are some people who have some faith in Jake Paul, who, might you say, perhaps a former opponent, Nate Diaz, who went to his social media to show that he put down 20 fucking grand. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me make sure 20 grand that Jake Paul would win. That will net him 142 grand. Well, I guess that'll be the potential winnings total. That's how much of an underdog Jake Paul is. And it's just a money line, is straight win. So how it happens is in the story. But apparently Nate Diaz seems to believe that Jake Paul has a shot, and so much so that he's putting his money where his mouth is. Now, maybe after Nate Diaz got himself some money, as I understand it, after this lawsuit, after his fight with Masvidal, and he's got a 20,000 to spare. So he's like, fuck it, I'll put it. What's the worst that can happen? I lose 20 grand. I'm sure he's lost a lot more throughout his career. So he's like, fuck it, why not? 20 grand to him, for us, is like 20 fucking bucks, really. But 142 grand is what he's set to make should he or should Jake Paul win. Quite a lot of faith in Jake Paul. I don't know what the fuck he's thinking, but maybe it's just one of those, let's see, let's throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. Let's see if I can, I got 20 grand I can fork up. Why not? Maybe he doesn't really have that much faith in him, but he's willing to put money down on him. I don't know. Seems kind of weird, huh?
I can guarantee you the casinos immediately started calling Diaz and offering him rooms and steaks, bro.
Yeah.
You got a lobster dinner. Wait, when you're making that type of bet, Miguel,
yeah,
believe me, the casinos are watching. 20 grand on Jake Paul, bring him in.
Mhm.
Bring him in. Yeah, no, you don't. That's not a high IQ bet right there. I'm sorry to
No.
say, it really isn't. Yeah, you're hoping on a miracle. You're hoping on a fixed fight, and you know what? Maybe that's his angle. Maybe he knows something that we don't. You guys, how about that one?
Mhm. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah,
Casinos are offering them coffee mugs with with their casino logo on there to that degree. They're like, come on in. Here's a nice room. You can watch it in your fucking, here's a nice suite in the arena. Why not?
yeah. But on the flip side, no. But what I'm also saying is because he been through the process of a Jake Paul fight, maybe he knows that Jake Paul doesn't lose in none of his fights.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? That's why so hey, maybe he knows something we don't. I don't know, man. I'm just going off. You know me, I love the sport. I always think that it's a straight up sport.
Right.
That and hey, I'm telling you, Jake Paul, if it was planned, it was the best plan ever to lose to Tommy Fury because he got me as a fan when he did that night. When he did that night, I was like, you know what? This guy's all right. Just because he lost to a boxer. See, that was the only reason. If he would have beat the boxer, I'd be like, fuck this dude, man.
Yeah.
But when he didn't lose to Tommy, I was like, you know what? I like this kid. This kid's doing all right for boxing. So if it was planned, Miguel, perfect plan by him because it did make me a believer that maybe he's straight up. But with Nate Diaz putting 20 grand against him, watch out. Watch out. Oh, it's going to be sick.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, look, we love the sport. We want to believe that integrity is in 100% intact, but there are things that happen that make you question it. And maybe I'm just a little bit more jaded. I'm at this point because when I found this out, I'm like, hold up. I mean, I said it weeks ago. It's not that Jake Paul is going to beat, I don't think, at least, Anthony Joshua. I don't think Joshua is going to take a dive by any stretch. He's going to let him survive the 8 rounds and be like, oh, he's legitimate. I couldn't take him out in 8 rounds kind of shit. And it's like, all right, is that where we're headed? I mean, again, Nate Diaz doesn't win money that way. So who the fuck knows? That's what the first thing that came to mind. I'm like, come on, stop this already. Joshua's going to let him go the 8 rounds, is going to make him look, even in losing, is going to make Jake Paul look pretty fucking good. So I'm going in that direction. But again, that doesn't mean that Nate Diaz is going to fucking win his money, because even that, just allowing Jake Paul to survive the 8 rounds doesn't mean that Nate is going to collect because he's going to most likely be out 20 grand. And in all fairness, you said it earlier, that wasn't the best IQ bet. I mean, if it's legitimate, of course, it's the sport I'm talking about. But a lot of things that come out of Nate Diaz's mouth isn't exactly, Albert Einstein-esque by any stretch of the imagination. So when he does these kinds of things, it's like, yeah, he is the kind of guy that would do that kind of shit. But maybe he knows something we don't. Maybe, something's going on behind the scenes that he's like, you know what? Hey, Jake Paul gives him, he's like, hey, buddy, here's a little Band-Aid on the fact that I beat you. Put some money on me. Just guaranteed. Put some money on me. All right. Some phone calls were made. I've already forgot the name of that person that Joe Rogan named in his fucking interview, Aubrey or something.
Aubrey, yeah.
It's like Aubrey's on the fucking tap. It's like, yeah, let's put some money on Jake Paul and let's see how he can make it. But we are a couple of weeks away from that. I'm not sure if we're gonna get like any more like press conferences. Maybe like the fight week. So fight week, we might get some more on that and see how things look at that point. See how Joshua looks. I mean, Joshua always looks like a goddess, right? So he's gonna be fine. But I'm talking about Jake Paul, seeing how he looks, how his attitude changes, how their body languages, their mannerisms. Like, I wonder how things are gonna become fight week, and of course, ultimately, how they'll look on the weigh-in days, because we still haven't gotten details on that. No more than 240. What was it? 243, 245 pounds. I forgot what it was, but we don't know as of right now if that's at the time of the weigh-in and fight night, or just at the time of fight night. So that one I would like to get more clarification on, because as of right now we don't know. But could that be something? Could that be why Nate Diaz sees it and is like, oh shit, what, 245 pounds or whatever? Yeah, let me put some money on fucking Jake Paul for this one. So that could be a factor, but we are 2 weeks away It is going to be on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Netflix. So I'm assuming you're going to tune in to watch this one, Andrew.
Yeah, we're 3 Fridays away, bro.
Okay.
3 Fridays. And so we are coming up to one of the most important weeks, though, because you would have to think that a week out from fight week, training would be, at least sparring would be cut off, right? No sparring the final week of training. It would be all about weight, I would believe, at that point.
Hmm.
So we're in the most important week of sparring.
Mm.
If Jake goes for the out, it would probably happen this week in a sparring match. Look for a cut. Look for a picture of a swollen wrist or a knuckle
Or
behind.
a cracked rib X-ray or some shit like that.
Exactly. If he had the double was rethinking himself about doing this week is the most important week to get through.
Yeah.
Because he's losing sleep, right? So you're in sparring, you're still thinking about Joshua.
Yeah.
One of these big guys hits you in the right spot. You weren't ready. Cracked rib. He wasn't ready. He was already nervous. Yeah. Very important week to get through. If we get through this one, dude, yeah, we're gonna see Jake Paul go up against fucking Joshua. It's gonna be kind of weird. It is gonna be weird when it happens.
Yeah, I'm now starting to think like, I wonder, and I've heard this before for other fighters. Freddie Roach, I think, did it with Manny Pacquiao. Like, I'll give you extra money if you can knock him down or something like that, right? I wonder if, to some degree, Jake Paul's like, hey, I'll give everybody an extra XYZ amount. Maybe I could crack my rib. Ready, guys? Ready? Yep. So I can have a legitimate reason if I can back out or something like that. Like, all right, no trauma up here, but ribs, I'll take it. Let's go. So I don't know. Seems a little sus. Maybe it's just...
He did exactly what Lee said could be done. We're 3 weeks away from seeing it happen, where a normal person rigged the sport and got all the way up to the highest level. That's what Jake Paul did here.
Yeah. And there might be yet another level, right? A championship and a belt around the corner, should he get past this one, which, we don't think he will, but let's say he does in this imaginary world. Well, there's what is it? The WBO belt or whatever it was that Usyk relinquished and Wardley got. Hey, who's to say he doesn't go up to Wardley after this and says, hey, drop the belt and I'll give you some fucking money. Yeah, sure. Fuck yeah. That's the biggest payday of my fucking career. No sweat. And he does exactly what our boy Lee Harnish said. Get up to 20, anybody can do it. Yeah, just like it, huh?
Insane.
Yeah.
We almost were spared many hours of Lee saying, I told you. Yeah. I told you.
Yeah. He's like, what the fuck I tell you? Like, wait till the record, but it's in the archives. Go find it. I'm sure you guys can figure it out there. Oh boy. Well, speaking of money, it seems as though, well, at least that's what the reports are saying, that and I say our, like the boxing sport is, the well is starting to dry up. It seems, at least that's the narrative. There was a report by the New York Times saying that these folks over at the Public Investment Fund, which is the source of Riyadh Season's budgets, is starting to, or has decided to, cut back on their spending, because there's been quite a bit spending going on and not exactly the amount that they want coming back in. Let me go ahead and read this here from World Boxing News and Supreme Boxing. New York Times warns boxing hooked on unstable Saudi funds. The fantasy paydays and supercharged schedules of the last 2 years have masked an unstable truth. Boxing is hooked on money that might not last. A New York Times investigation into the Public Investment Fund, or the PIF, the source of Riyadh Season's budget, confirms that the money tap could be turned off at any moment due to severe financial strain. Now, let's take a look back before I pop up anything else here. What this is saying basically is the Saudis are saying, hold up, let's pump the brakes on all that we're spending here. Enough with these or at least pump the brakes on these $10 million Pitbull and better BF each type of fucking paydays when we only got 45,000 pay-per-view buys. Could this be one of the reasons why, unfortunately, Turki Al-Sheikh has had to change his mind on no more pay-per-views? They're like, oh shit, we're not getting the kind of money. Now we can take a look at what their most successful one was. I guess most recently would be Canelo and Crawford. The paydays that they were getting, did they get all of that back? They got a significant amount. We know about it, right? The ticket sales, etc. We don't know how many more subscriptions that brought in because nobody, I'm not sure that's even a metric that is public or at least available for us to read. Because more often than not, pay-per-view numbers is something that we are privy to, so we can find that out, but we don't know about whether or not Canelo Crawford brought in any more subscriptions, stuff like that, right? So before we get to what Turki Al-Sheikh said, Andrew, when you first read this, did you think, and I fucking knew it, it had to run out at some point, or be like, nah, I don't know if I believe everything I read online?
Well, no, I mean, we just talked about this a few weeks ago. I think we had told everyone to prepare themselves for this money to start running out. I think it was after they bought EA Sports, right? And we had brought up the conversation about there's a lot of bigger fish in this pond. Do you remember that? We're not a big fish in this pond anymore. Not when you got F1 floating around, you have WWE floating around, the UFC's floating around. They bring EA Sports in, totally just buy the thing outright. You know how much money those video games bring in and then continue to bring in once they even get dropped? Then you can do updates, you can do uniforms and special, probably legend players. I'm sure they're going to have all the things that all these other games have, where the kids just keep purchasing. Oh, Dad, I need 99 cents. Oh, Dad, I need $1. Oh, Dad, it's only $5. They're in New Jersey. The Pro Bowl jersey's out. All this stuff. We're the small fish in this pond. Yes, no, most definitely. I felt like at any day we were going to get that fucking the boss wants to see you. Shit. We're not doing it. Look, we had Crawford and Canelo. Seems like it was a great event, right? They did 40 million at the gate, something like that, or 40 million views. What did they do at the gate?
No, I think it was 47 million at the gate.
Oh, so they did do all right,
yeah,
but they did.
That's what it was.
But they did over 40 million views too on Netflix, right? It was a good show. I think they're going about coming into the boxing business in the wrong. They got the wrong business model. It wasn't boxing, does not care that you bought everything and you're just gonna do what we say now. When we tell you this fight's good, that means it's good and you're gonna watch. That's not boxing. Boxing invests into fighters. We've said this for like the last 2 months probably. I'm not gonna get off of it until someone over there realizes, what they're doing wrong. I'm gonna tell you right now, I would pull all boxers off of social media. If I was Turki Al-Sheikh, I would tell them there is no more of you guys posting on social media. If you're working for me, do you see NFL players post like you see boxers? Teofimo Lopez out there saying the N-word how many times in the last few months? How many times? How do you think that helps sponsorship, Miguel, when your fucking guy on your stable is a racist? Flat out, Ray, don't come back talking about, I'm not racist, dog. I live in Brooklyn, which now I guess is phony. Did you hear about that? Like, Teofimo might not even be from New York. That's fucking the truth. Yeah, dude.
That doesn't surprise me one bit.
It doesn't, because that's how boxing is. I didn't know it would be him, but yeah, they're saying he's not even from where they're saying they're from, right? Maybe his dad was, but not him. You have Devin Haney beating people on the fucking street. Like, do you see other wide receivers in the NFL? Like, hey, I was at the fair the other day putting it down with someone. Like, what? What do we do? How do we get sponsorships with knuckleheads like this? Now, Ryan Garcia promoting drinking, smoking, right? Thinking it's all cool to be a dipshit. Do you see this anywhere else? So if I'm Turkey, I get them all off social media. Tell them to go get a fucking another job. If you want to post about how fucking cool you are, Go get another job that you're going to make millions at. Because that's what the NFL tells their people. But if you fucking work here, there will be none of this. You know, the Yankees owner used to tell his guys no beards. If you work for the New York Yankees, fucking shave it. If not, go get another job. Now, I think they got off of that as the years went on, but back from, up until like 2000 or so, like Derek Jeter was still doing this shit for them. All those guys. It was that recent. I think it was, I think even Giambi. Remember Jason Giambi from the A's when he was all like that wild A's guy? Yeah, when he goes there, clean. Had to shave it. No, hey, you're making millions. You're making millions. So get them off of social media. You got to find the guys that drive the culture in America, that take a whole city will get behind, right? And you got to start hitting those fighters back in those hometown fights. Get them promote them a lot more than what you do than your one time a year, twice a year. No, dude. Maybe you got to fight more to get more fans. Maybe you got to do more tours like Chavez used to do, right? You're fighting a bum. We all know you're going to win. This a fucking sparring match. But you know what? There's about 5,000 people out there that's going to get to see their hero fight live today. Just saying. Promote more into the fighters, right? Find the ones that the people want, that drive actual numbers, and put more into them. Miguel, me and you know better even Bivol didn't drive those numbers. So why'd you give us that? Why'd you give us that fight in America? No one gave a fuck. Some of us did, but the majority didn't. And that's what you're trying to tap into, is the fucking majority, right?
Yeah.
So I would invest no social media. I'd try to get them more sponsorship, and I try to put more money into these guys to give them low-key fights in their own hometowns and attract the masses. Jermaine Taylor, remember when he had Arkansas? Was it Arkansas that was in love with him?
Yeah, he was from. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, the college kids used to go and rock that shit. Why didn't they put him in Arkansas and have 60, 90,000 out there to go watch him, right? Free fight. Just give it to them. Then when you ask them to come to Vegas, maybe they come to Vegas for you. When you ask them to come to Riyadh, big maybe they come to Riyadh for you. But maybe your chances of getting someone is better when you see a fighter that is thriving in his hometown and you give that hometown a lot more exposure, right? By bringing the fighter home, giving them more fights. So I think there's things that Turkey can do to make this thing work. But buying DAZN or DAZN, however the fuck you want to say it, that didn't help boxing at all. That was a crumbling fucking platform from the beginning. You pumping money into it did nothing for them. It did nothing. You need fighters. Did you see, and I know we'll get into it later, did you see this weekend who DAZN was pushing on their social media platform for their 3-day trial?
Oh, that Whitaker dude?
Yes, bro. I'm sitting there and I'm staring at this, Miguel. Like, who in the fuck gave two shits about this in America? Bro, are you like, either my wife wants me to go take her out, or I'm going to stay home and do Lance Whitaker? Stupid. That's not the face. Remember when I was telling him he needs a face in America? Did we ever say that guy?
We did not.
We did not. So why is he running the 3-day free trial?
Did you hear that somebody broke into his house?
Yeah.
It's like, you think that's legit? You think it actually happened?
They said he snagged his title. If it is, it was an inner circle. You know, one of his thug friends. They probably have. Look, the poor kid goes, "Who would want this title? A drug dealer." Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, crime boss. Right. They have World Series balls on their black market trophy rooms. They have. Why do you think that guy was stealing jerseys? Remember that one reporter who was snagging hella shit out of the Super Bowls? They went to his house and he had like years of Super Bowl shit. What do you think he's selling that stuff to? Legit guys?
No, hell no.
Hell no, bro.
No. He's not putting that shit on eBay. Come on now.
So, yeah, your title is probably sitting in the drug pin's basement right now, or his little
in the fucking suitcase, in the black suitcase, the way they give it to you, the way the WBA gives it to you. still pristine.
Just because your dope friend said he knew you too. That's what started the whole thing off. Oh, what? You know Whitaker? Hey, if you give me that title, I'll give you this. Oh, shit.
Like I'll see him tomorrow. I'll see him tomorrow. Fuck yeah. How soon do you need it?
Broke into his ass, fucked up. No, it's fucked up. But yeah, I gotta tell the kid. Yeah, no, it's definitely the black market wants your IBF title, bro. Don't be naive. You know.
No kidding. But just to confirm, yes, Canelo Crawford drew over 41 million viewers and 47 million at the gates with 70,000 attendance. Now, before I get to what Turki Al-Sheikh rebutted to this, it has been reported, mind you, so we don't know the source, that Terence Crawford is asking for $100 million for the rematch with Canelo. Now, after hearing what we just heard, first off, we don't know if it's true, right? This is just reportedly, right? So we can believe what you want to believe on the internet, but he made an estimated, or at least a guaranteed, of 10 million in that first fight. He probably got a lot more after all the fucking, everything is added up and tallied up. But supposedly, Crawford is asking for $100 million for the rematch with Canelo. After hearing what we just heard, or what we just talked about in regards to the funds, the Saudi funds beginning to dry up, or at least they're gonna cut back on them because of what's not coming in. Doesn't seem likely that he'll get this. Unfortunately, that's just the way the cookie crumbles right now. It doesn't seem like there's enough money for something like that. Whether or not this is true, again, is just another story. But reportedly, he's asking for 100 mil. Definitely, well, I'm gonna say definitely, probably not gonna happen. Either he doesn't get that money, and we don't see a rematch, or he gets less and finds somebody else, I suppose. But yeah, I saw that pop up on my feed, and I was like, 100 mil. I don't know if that's true or not, but anyway.
He could have asked for it. It doesn't mean he's going to get it, right? But he's playing that lawyer little tactic right there where you shoot high, and then when they come down, you get them at the price that you originally wanted, right? Your max that you wanted to go. So that's fine with Terence. He's not worth 100 million. I think we all know that. So I don't see him making that. I don't even see him making anything close to that. And I think that's one of the problems in boxing right now, is that these fighters once again are outpricing themselves. You see, what we would have to do is we would have to go back to HBO and their peak moment in boxing, the 90s maybe, right? Peak moment. They had a great stable of fighters in the 90s. We would have to see what they were putting into boxing as far as a budget, and then compare those payouts to what the other professional athletes were making around the other leagues, right? Because we've seen significant raises in the other leagues, baseball, NBA, football. I mean, guaranteed money in football has went through the roof because of the CTE and people being a little bit nervous about getting their kids into this sport. Guess how they cleared that up? Now your kid's guaranteed 60 million if he plays or if he doesn't play. Bam, the kids are back, right? And baseball became global. Now they're doing like fucking 10-year, $500 million, $700 million contracts, bro. Like baseball is signing like 13-year-old kids right now, just like soccer, just like soccer. You know what I mean? But that's how much money they have. They have money for the fucking future. You know what I'm saying? Boxing ain't signing a 10-year-old at fucking 30 million. You know what I mean? So we've seen all these other sports have gotten significant raises. And one thing that I got to say that I've always said about boxers, they're the best athletes in the sports world. They're absolutely the best athletes. Science has told us that. This is not just me going, oh, I love boxing, so boxing's the best. No, science has proven that many times. And other athletes have talked about, dude, I thought I was badass until I went and tried to train, until I went and tried to do boxing for a while. So they're the best athletes. And I think that's why we lost the heavyweight division, the cruiserweight, if it was ever there. But all of our big guys, I'm talking 6'1" and up, 160 pounds and up. If you are a premier athlete in high school, most likely you're not picking boxing after school, right? You're getting all the girls being the fucking MVP of the high school, and that's where you stay, right? So that's where we lost all of those young men. So then we're working with the smaller divisions, and we still had the best boxers in the world, and they still made a lot of money, but there was probably a cap. And when you got Terrence Crawford out there asking for $100 million, and you got Floyd asking for $100 million, all these guys want $20 million a fight. Remember when the Floyd Pacquiao era was $20 million a fight? Everyone wanted. Not everyone in the NBA is making $20 million a fight or a game, right, or a year and all that, right? So we got to watch out that we don't outprice ourselves. Okay, boxing's cool, but there's very much a limit to what the fighters should be making. And if that's only $3 million a fight, and you feel you could have went to baseball and made $10 million a season, well, that's how we're gonna lose these guys, right? Mm-hmm. So it sucks, but that's where we're at right now. Is I think we're outpricing ourselves, and our market isn't staying up with the other markets. Those guys are all advancing in bigger platforms, right? They all took streaming deals. They're fucking, you can get baseball, football, basketball on TV, on your computer, on a fucking Netflix, a Hulu. They're everywhere. They got deals everywhere. Boxing, we do, but we don't. It's a different animal. So I think that's why I say, I think the Riyadh season, when they do take everyone, they got to start investing more money into the men that actually move numbers, into the men that aren't racist. And if that means Teofimo Lopez gets left in the behind, then he gets left behind because he's damaging the name of the product that they're trying to sell. That's Riyadh, right? We have the best. I'll tell you this, HBO probably pulls Teofimo. I bet you Teofimo would have been fighting on Showtime if he dropped that many N-words in one. The fucking banana thing he pulled on ESPN. Yeah. Come on, bro. It's all hurting the image, right? So yeah, that's what I think is going on with boxing. Unfortunately, is the money's not only drying up with the Saudis, but we're starting to get a distance with other sports where dads, maybe kids in high school are going, Dad, I love boxing. I love boxing to death, but dude, they're making $20 million a baseball game right now, and I'm a pretty good pitcher.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I kind of, after hearing what you're saying, and then reading Turkey Al-Sheikh's rebuttal to this, and then, not mind you, we're hearing these reports from other media platforms, from other media outlets, and then the one media outlet that Turkey Al-Sheikh owns, the Ring magazine, decides to post something saying it's not true. No shit. Of course, they're gonna be the ones that are posting it. His Excellency has firmly disputed a recent report that alleged a slowdown of spending on boxing events. Al-Sheikh says the report is quote unquote 100% not true, and made it clear that quote unquote many surprises will be announced in 2026. Now, could this be some big plot? And we've talked about this before. You mentioned this specifically. Sometimes you got to starve the fighters to check their asses. You got to starve them a little bit. Could this be that? Could it be like, all right, we've spent a lot, guys. We got attention on us. Let's tighten the fucking, the wallet a little bit and make these guys a little more fucking humble, because we got somebody like Terrence Crawford asking $100 million if it really is true. And more often than not, they're not going to get that amount. Of course, they're going to get substantially less. But does that kind of set the precedent now? It's like, fuck, these guys were giving us hell of millions of dollars. Now they're pulling back a little bit. Shit, maybe I shouldn't be asking for that fucking $50 million or $20 million payday or whatever the shit. Starve the fighters a little bit. Like, all right, let's check them a little bit. And then, we can release the funds. So maybe is that what's going on? Not necessarily that the well is drying up per se, but these people, the Saudis, are essentially just pumping the brakes and saying, all right, let's slow down the fucking spending, because now we got everybody coming after us thinking they can ask us for $30 million for some title eliminator or some bullshit like that. Could it be all just manipulated? They're like, let's pump the brakes ourselves. It's not that we're running dry or that we're going broke, but rather we're pumping the brakes on how much we're spending on these events.
Absolutely. It could be that could have something to do with it. once again, I think the for Rehab season to work with DAZN, they should have a budget like HBO did. And if you put a maximum budget in DAZN, it's DAZN, right? Not DAZN, or is it DAZN?
No, it's DAZN.
All right, DAZN. Shit, my bad. DAZN. You max them out with the budget, right? Make it a high one. You got to make it with something that's going to make all these promoters and these dads, trainers, whatever, look at this and go, "Ooh, we need that." But if they know there's only a certain amount of money that they're going to release a year, I think guys will be more willing to accept fights in January than wait. Oh, we'll wait. We're going to wait until the end of the year. I want 2 more warm-up fights. They might say something. Hey, dude, there's only $75 million to go this year. You either sign for this right now. We're offering you $3 million for this fight, guaranteed $3 million purse. Or if you don't take it, we're going to go to the next guy, and he might take the $3 million. And by fucking December, there won't be that much left for you, right? Do something like that, because I think that's how HBO used to work it. That's why they had a lot of guys signing their fights, right? Because there was only like 20 million. There was like a limit. Now we're not talking pay-per-views. We're talking championship, but anything that was on HBO. Pay-per-views is a bonus. That's a bonus for everyone, right? Because that means these two fighters have made it to a point where everyone wants to pay to watch them. That's a bonus for everybody involved. That's why the fighters, shout out to the guys that corrected me. I forgot your name already, but they get a guaranteed purse. Then they get a bonus on top of the pay-per-views. But there was a guaranteed purse attached to a pay-per-view fight. You know what I'm saying? I remember someone got at us when.
Oh yeah, they're like, come on, Andrew. HBO used to do guarantees all the fucking time.
My bad. It's been a long time, but no. Combat Sports, is that Combat Sport? Maybe that's who it was that emailed us. But so yeah, do something like that where a lot of the ranked fighters, guys looking for title eliminators, they won't have this option to negotiate. Right? You're going to know that there's a set price. It's a big price. It's good money. There's millions there to be made if you can get there and fucking do it that way. They can also take in HBO's replay effect. If you get replays, you get bonuses. So stop showing the shit on YouTube 24 hours later. Maybe put it on DAZN's fucking library and see how many people watch the shit for the first week. Then release it. Or like HBO, I could go this all day. Wait a week, release it on DAZN, then put it on YouTube 2 weeks later, right? But there's ways that they can make extra money for the fighters and have a limited purse for DAZN matches only. I think that's the way they have to go. I don't think it's sustainable to try to do every fight on its own market, because you're going to have guys that fucking are going to be really upset with what they're told, you know?
Yeah, and this is why, I mean, we suspect, at least if this is legit, why the Turkey has basically flipped his fucking script on the free fights. It's like right off the bat, you know, he's been telling us for the longest fucking time. Now DAZN has this, you know, tiered membership, you know, $500 some odd for the whole year, but you get a lot of pay-per-views. Well, we don't know who the fuck is on any pay-per-views, crying out loud. We don't know if you want to see these fucking people on the fight on pay-per-view cards or main event at pay-per-view card, but clearly this is a different direction than they totally changed their story from before, saying, you know, no more pay-per-views, we're going to do free fights, it's going to be on DAZN, you guys got it, yada yada. No, that they totally switched that shit up on us, and this could be another indication as to why. It's just like, you know, we are kind of pumping the brakes on that. $500 gives you 12 pay-per-views or whatever the fuck, and I think Eddie Hearn mentioned it. You get, you know, like 12 pay-per-views, which averages out to about 1 a month. But are there that many people you want to see on pay-per-view? You know, 12 fucking fights. It would be tight, don't get me wrong, but are there even that many fucking people that you would be willing to pay for fork up $500 some odd for this yearly package to see, you know, whatever the hell pay-per-view is happening in July of 2026? I already bought it. Well, who's on it? Like, it doesn't matter. I already paid for it. But
as soon as this project goes belly up, I think this is the nail in the coffin for DAZN. I don't see them rebounding off of this one.
Wait, as soon as what goes belly up?
The ratings. When they see that it doesn't work, no one bought into their $45 a month plan. The fuck? And that's only if you take the deal. that we averaged it to be. What if you go, no, I want to do month by month? What are we paying then? 50, 60? Damn near 3 times what we're paying for anything else on our platforms? Insane, bro. It's insane. It's an insane business model. It really is. We're not going to do it. Listen, if the NFL couldn't get away with the NFL ticket, DAZN's not getting away with a $45 a month boxing subscription. It's just not happening. We don't even love
Does the NFL ticket not exist anymore?
No. If you notice, it does, but it doesn't. Because if you notice, football is everywhere. This week, I watched football 3 days in a row, right? Okay. Or 3 days out of 4. You had it Thursday, Friday, and then we go Sunday. 3 out of 4 days. I didn't miss football games. Now, if I wanted to watch every single game, yes, then on Sunday ticket, you could watch every game without the league. But I had football all around. You have football on Hulu. You have football on ESPN Plus. You have football on the NBC, the regular basic cable. No, they're everywhere. Wow. So where was I going with that? Ah, gosh darn it.
How much we pay on top of the monthly if we decide to go month to month.
Yeah. Oh, yes. That's the nail in the coffin. I don't think they're going to rebound from this. Turkey will probably buy out his contract. Saudi will do whatever they have to do to get out of it. And they'll go, listen, this is where I was going with it. Here you go. After I got rewired. They have to be on a platform, dude. Gosh darn, boxing needs to find themselves on a platform that people have already paid for to watch, so that all we're doing is going from a movie to a boxing match. That's what they need. That's what football has. Football has you're either on basic cable or you're on Hulu. You're on some kind of app, Paramount, that you can go from a movie and go, oh yeah, football. Look, they're showing the football just came on. And a little thing, boom, hit play or live or whatever it says. They hit click on the bottom to get to that. Boxing needs that. They absolutely need that. We are not going to make it to just have a casual go. The casuals never say, I want to watch a fight. Right. They don't. They have to get baited in through these damn shows, through these commercials, through the promotions, and then they watch. He will move on. He will need to get into Netflix, Paramount. Maybe Paramount does great with the UFC, and they want to spend more money to get more combat sports. Something like that, where he can sneak in there, right? The UFC model, that's the first thing that should be cut. If we're drying up anything, can we get rid of the fucking dumbass TKO thing? That's the first thing that should be cut. And let's focus more on the guys that are pushing actually numbers. You know what I mean? So that's hopefully what they dry up first. But get into Paramount, get into Netflix, get into a platform that you're not doing that much work. All you got to do is put a commercial now on the little thing when they turn on Netflix. Boom, there's a little Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua floating everywhere, right? Build-up shows, things like that. They desperately need that. I do believe that is the future. And you will see DAZN probably dissolve.
Yeah, that's a tough one because we live in a different time now. It's not the cable TV where, like, you know, whatever is on live TV, if you're watching a movie and then, you know, whatever movie you're watching ends and then boxing starts and you're like, oh shit, there's boxing. Right now, we live in a time where it's like on demand type shit. So if you're logged into Hulu or logged into Netflix, yeah, you would probably need some sort of advertisement to even let people know that there's a boxing fight. But if they're watching a movie or whatever, it's most likely on demand. It's not on like a schedule per se, a set schedule. So if a fight comes on at a certain time, you know, people can tune out. People can't just be like, fuck it, I'll watch it, you know, later. It's not like a channel where you, like, if you want to watch that channel, you have no choice but to watch the boxing because that's on the channel. Everything's so on demand now, like Netflix. They can just tune out and watch it later. We live in a different times. These streaming services are fucking, man, they're different. You know, they're not the typical, you know, cable TV that we're so used to. But damn, that's nuts. If this shit doesn't work out, because this has kind of been the concern from a lot of people, a lot of other media outlets, that if this experiment doesn't work out, they're gonna save their own ass and they're gonna pull out. And what kind of, you know, condition what kind of fucking desolate desert are they gonna leave boxing now? You know, it's like shit. Our one cash cow has pulled out, or our main funder, I guess, and now where does that leave us? It's like, damn, we're gonna have to go back to this, you know, smaller paydays and stuff like that,
No,
right? So that's the only concern. Huh?
no. Boxing will go back to its original format with the four kings, the four families taking total power again.
You think? I
Oh,
mean,
hell yeah.
we have few of them now. Top rank is kind of, it's really more so Matchroom and Oscar and fucking, you know what I'm saying? It's like those two now.
Top rank, I think, is letting the dust settle before they make their moves. I don't see them going anywhere until they're out, they're in. So they would get back into power, and I think Netflix gobbles the shit up. I think Netflix would be totally interested if Saudi money wasn't available, because now they dictate everything. And if Netflix was smart, they absolutely take the HBO model. Can we all agree that boxing hasn't worked since we left HBO and Showtime? Can we agree on that?
Hasn't worked as in what exactly? Like what would be considered work?
Pay-per-view sales have never been the same. Never. Right? Boxing overall against the casuals being talked about, I think, was way more when HBO. It has not worked. PBC moving on to free television did not work. Boxing moving on to DAZN, this global platform of sports that was going to have soccer and rugby and arm wrestling and all this shit that Americans don't watch, did not work. Right?
Right.
Netflix has a chance to make it all right again. They can be the HBO of the new era or whatever. That is the model that worked for boxing. People do like watching fighting, but they're not going to search for it, right? But I think when there's an interest in the fighters, it's very hot. Everybody loves to see athletes of that caliber throw down. I don't. It's a sick little thing. Maybe everyone has inside about watching gladiators fight. You know what I mean? So, but that is what I think happens with DAZN. I got to credit Jake Paul. He's the one that made that happen, dude. Because Netflix knows there's a sleeping giant there. They've seen the powers that Mike Tyson still controlled at 59. What was he? You know what I mean? 57, something like that.
Yeah.
So freaking, they know what they're capable of. The Saudi's money, maybe just a little bit too many. How do you say it? Too many chiefs, not enough Indians, right? Maybe there's something like that going on. They don't need another member of their board meeting, especially one that thinks his say is over everything, in which it probably is. In his world, it is over everything. Whatever his boss says, it goes. You know what I'm saying? But maybe that don't fly everywhere. So who knows? But I think they're interested if Saudi money does run dry in boxing.
So, but when I mean, things definitely have been the same since, you know, HBO and Showtime got out of the picture. But isn't that why HBO got out of the picture? Because things were already looking bad. I don't think they would have exited if things were still working. They only bounced because they saw that the decline already was occurring. So when HBO pulled out, it was because the decline had already started. It wasn't because they pulled out per se, because they wouldn't have pulled out otherwise. I would have to assume that they would stay in the game as long as they continued to work. I have to credit it to other stuff. No,
Al Heyman ruined boxing. The PBC, that $750 million that HBO had to compete with, and now he was giving fucking bullshit fighters $5 million paydays to fight on fucking Fox. That's what ruined boxing. When they had to pay fighters like Adrian Broner and Danny Garcia and Spence and Thurman and all these guys millions of dollars who can't push a fucking ticket if their life depended on it. That's what ruined boxing. So to all you fucks that say Al Heyman did something good for boxing, you're absolutely wrong. He's what ruined boxing. Floyd Mayweather ruined boxing as far as the HBO model is concerned. You understand? Not everybody is worth 20 million. We don't give a fuck that you're 50 and fucking oh. That's not what drives your $20 million paycheck. It's who Floyd Mayweather was. It was his character, his persona. It was everything that he brought to the sport. Not that you're a fucking 50 and 0. That's a great positive. That's a plus. We like it. But there's guys that go back and look at some of the other fighters in the world that we always say they weren't 50 and 0 and they still made millions of dollars, bro. It's because the fight fans connect to the fighter. You understand? And for a split second, all these fighters with Al Heyman got it fucked up. They all thought, no, I'm 30-0. I should be making $20 million a fight. What are you talking about? Get out of here. They ruined boxing. It wasn't the other way around. HBO, they seen their what also hurt us with HBO is they seen this movies series like The Sopranos, not House of Dragons, Game of Thrones, right? These things were taken off. These things were coming from, hey, we can carry this for a fucking decade into a movie, right? And make more money. And all that kind of went away. Game of Thrones is still there, but I mean, like, what the fuck? They go like a year without showing a show or some shit. I don't even know what guy. I would have to rewatch Game of Thrones to probably get back into what's going on, the storyline. Like, it's absurd what they have done to that show. And then Sopranos kind of just fell apart on them. Look, they even tried to bring Sopranos back, and fucking the other Ray Liotta dies. It was like, damn, they couldn't say, and they double parts. Remember, he dies off as a character and comes back as like a twin, and then he dies in real life. They're like, fucking show's over.
Yeah.
And so they also went down that path thinking they were gonna be like movie producing company. And that just hasn't really, you haven't seen HBO go anywhere with that. HBO also lost a lot of their viewerships to things like Netflix and Hulu, streaming apps where the movies were more, how do you say it? They were right there for you to get. You didn't have to wait.
Yeah, they're on demand.
They're on demand, yes. You didn't have to wait for HBO to put them in the cycle. You know what I'm saying? And I think HBO lost a lot of viewerships with that. So when you combined the popularity of streaming apps coming in and boxing demanding way more money than it should have deserved, and Al Heyman's bullshit contract that he ripped off a bunch of fucking investors. If you guys don't believe me, go to Google and you'll even see. No, just kidding. I'm just fucking with you guys.
Like, we're gonna leave a link in the description now.
all of them are like, "Fuck, here he goes again."
Yeah.
No,
like,
just
but PBC rant again.
Hey, I know who did it. Devil, man.
Yeah.
I bet you he's real rich somewhere. I wish I could go see how Al Heyman's living right now. Bet you it's a mansion somewhere down the street from Don.
That is very true, and I'm glad we ended on that note because we're going to be talking about PBC again right now, as a matter of fact. Did you guys hear Lamont Roach talking about PBC and how they took care of him, I should say, when the rematch with Gervonta Tank Davis didn't materialize? Let me go ahead and pull it up here on my Instagram feed. But apparently, according to Roach at least, Gervonta Tank Davis is how PBC makes their money. I'm going to go ahead and read this here real quick. I found it from the bottom 0161. That's the Instagram account. Lamont Roach explains why he was going to take Gervonta Tank Davis to arbitration, despite the fans saying he was federal for suing. I'm not sure what federal means, but anyway, I guess something. I don't know if that was a typo, but I guess fans were saying he was kind of a bitch for suing. Lamont says that he had no issue with Tank fighting Jake Paul, but that he had a problem with the way Tank handled it and handled the business, and breaks down how canceling the fight affected his pockets as well as fighters on the undercard and the promotion as company as a whole. Lamont even goes as far as to claim that the majority of PBC's income comes from Gervonta Davis. Since the interview, Roach has stated that PBC looked after him, so he didn't go through arbitration with Gervonta Davis. Do you think we'll ever see the rematch? And that's just part of the content creators asking the question. But basically, he goes on to say that PBC took care of him to make sure that he doesn't go into arbitration, right? And going full-blown, like, scorched earth on suing Gervonta Tank Davis. So I'm not sure what that means, or we can assume what that means. You know, we don't have any numbers to know specifically what, but even goes as far as to say, yeah, Gervonta Tank Davis is basically the reason PBC is even fucking alive. That's how they make their money. It's like, damn, that's where we're at right now. I don't know what kind of a hit PBC would take. The fact that Tank isn't going to be fighting Jake Paul anymore, at least not in the immediate future. Seems like a lot of pressure on poor old Tank to basically keep PBC afloat. He's going to be fighting Pitbull Cruz, and we're going to be talking about that here momentarily. But Andrew, what do you think about that? Lamont saying, yeah, PBC is, Tank is essentially keeping PBC afloat.
Unfortunately, I think Roach has that wrong. I believe Al Heyman is going to be like Don King, and he's going to be offering fighters $100 million when he's 98 years old. If you notice, Don King did that not too long ago. Who was it with Floyd or something? Remember when he tried to get Floyd to sign with them, and he had like $100 million still in his house sitting on a table? Like, what the fuck? Don hasn't had a fight in hella long. What he did was he robbed Mike Tyson and Julio. Basically, a lot more Chavez than Tyson, because Tyson made $350 million in his career, and Chavez probably made $2 million in his career. It was remember, Chavez's biggest payday is with Bob Arum on the De La Hoya fight. That's how pathetic that shit is. Oh, it's like when he's like 30 something years old, bro. That's his biggest payday. Are you fucking kidding me? Then his whole prime. Then his whole prime of 5 titles, 3 divisions, 89 wins, but whatever. So Don made millions off of the back of those 2 men. Well, I'm here to tell you that Al Heyman made millions. $750 million was in a portfolio on the backs of all of the fighters I just named in the last segment. We have to remember that when Al Heyman was the manager and the promoter of these guys on PBC, he was outpricing himself with HBO because he wanted to get his own TV deals with Fox, ESPN, BET. Who else did they have? Showtime.
Showtime, yeah.
Right?
I think ABC or NBC, one of those. I forgot which one it was.
Yeah, he had all these other deals. He was buying time. And what was he telling his guys? Oh, I'm going to make the next Floyd Mayweather. I'm going to create. I have these guys. All of them are undefeated. Granted, you guys, he took a whole generation from HBO. He took a whole generation from Showtime. He took a whole generation from Oscar, Golden Boy. He doesn't make shit. None of them turn out to be. The success that he had was Deontay fucking Wilder, and that guy lost more of his mega fights than he won. That's his biggest success is Deontay. At least Deontay got fucking paid, right? Mm-hmm. All these other guys didn't get paid. They didn't get Floyd money. They never made Floyd money. So we have to remember that he made a lot of money off those bets, because we're not going to know how much he made until we know what his manager percentage was, what his promoter percentage was, and I'm sure he had all those fees of, oh, well, I flew you guys here and I flew you there for the promotions, and didn't I house your whole family when you were staying there in New York? Do you remember all those receipts that start coming out too that we hear about that promoters put up money for that we just don't see in the out front, right? You got to go to court, and then we hear, damn, he gave him $100,000 just for this and that and this. Fight tickets, all of these receipts come out. How much was Al Heyman really making at the end of a whole PBC card? An entire fucking card that he double-ended every deal. Ooh. That's why he's not going to run out of money. That's why the PBC is not going to run out of money. Now, granted, all the money that he's investing is not flipping shit. No. He's had one successful fight, bro. And this is what Roach is talking about. Garcia. I'm sure there's a plaque on the wall. Look, $1.4 million. Look at that. I'm sure what was it, 2023?
January. I could be wrong on the month, but 2023, yeah.
You could still point at that date. You can still. Now, maybe next year, you're going to have some guys go, hey, come on, Al, that's 3 years ago, bro. We ain't had another hit since then. So he's going to have to pull back on that, but he can still brag about 23. That's what Roach is talking about. Because Tank hasn't done shit since Garcia. All this fight. Dude, they put a fucking pay-per-view on with him and Benavidez, and it doesn't do $1 million. It doesn't even do close. No, Roach is he's a little mistaken. I get what he's saying, but I don't think Al's ever going to run out of money. Al needs to invest his money right. His next signings need to be you know, they need to be a guy that's going to turn him into Floyd. Unfortunately, man, he had a lot of fucking chances. Boy, he had all the money in the world and all the records in the world.
Yeah.
I'm being silly today, but hey, Terrence Crawford came out the best. Top rank, baby. Told you from the beginning.
Like, hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. Hey, you told me so. I thought Spence was going to take him. I legit thought, I was like, you know what? Spence is too big. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, mind you, this is post-accident, so who the fuck knows? I want to throw that in there.
Yeah.
Make sure that's in there. But so, and then, you know, Roach says that PBC took care of him to make sure that it doesn't go to arbitration. What does that mean? A little payday. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, let's not go that direction. I have to assume Al has plenty of money for that, right? I mean, mind you, we're getting less and less PBC cards and fight cards, and we keep saying it. It's like, I'm not sure how much longer they're gonna have, but you're saying Al Heyman isn't gonna run out of money, but PBC is gonna run out of money, aren't they? I mean, he probably won't, but PBC at some point is gonna, because I mean, you're seeing fewer and fewer cards, and they're all gonna be on fucking pay-per-view pretty much. None of them are gonna be on free Amazon Prime the way we thought it was going to be. So I mean, maybe he won't run out of money, but PBC will, right?
Yes, but as long as Al Heyman can sign that PBC check, PBC is alive. So, and it's just like Don. That's how Don King Promotions comes around every blue moon, right? It's because the promoter. It's how he got started. Remember the story about Don with Muhammad with the Ali Foreman? Is he signed that fight without even having $1 in the bank?
Right.
You remember that? And then he went out and he made the money, and that's how it ends up where it did. That's boxing, right? That's the beast that boxing is. The Wild Wild West, you would say, is that some fast talker can put together $1 million fight without $1 million and then generate 100 million by the end of the thing. So that's where Al Heyman doesn't go, and that's why I'm telling you guys, that's why he's so invested into Tank, because he struck gold with Tank. Tank's water spout, it shoots money every once in a while. We ain't getting rid of that one. That one, when we water it enough, it gives us fruit. It bears fruit. David Benavidez didn't bear shit. All right, hey, you're going to fight Riyadh next 3 fights, bro. You're out of here. I'm dead serious. You seen PBC let him go? The monster, the most scared man in boxing. I was like, I ain't got the money for you. But that old Tank, I seen him. He gave me money back. Come on, Roach. This is easy math. Easy math. Follow the money. That's why he's invested in Tank. Tank has a glimmer of hope that he can strike gold with him. All you other guys, I'm going to call Turkey Ali Sheik. Hold on. Turned into a manager real fast on everyone else.
Yeah. Like, I got one on the phone right now. We're going to be talking about Lamont Roach here momentarily or shortly, because I want to throw in one more story here before we move on to fight week, which is Lamont Roach and Pitbull Cruz this weekend. But Manny Pacquiao's son, if I can get his name right, Jimuel, Jimuel, I guess a combination of Samuel and Jim. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
What about if it's like Jaime, bro, and he's like a Himel? You know, Spanish in the Philippines are kind of the same.
That's a good point. As a matter of fact, I should have known that, because my name is Miguel, and there's a U in there, so it's Himel. Himel.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds like a Charlo. Sounds like a brother Charlo. Jamel Charlo. Bring his ass in here. Lions only. Jamel, you're in here now. But
know his name after so long, anyways, bro. From the look of last night.
That's a good point. Very good point. So he fought yesterday, Manny Pacquiao's son, and I know what they call people who have never lost a fight. They're called undefeated. But what is the person who has never won a fight? What is they called? What are they called? Because that's where Jamel is right now. Got himself a draw yesterday in a fight that he probably should have lost. I've seen this happen before, specifically with Chavez Jr. Years ago, back when the Planet Hollywood here in Las Vegas used to be called the Aladdin, my pops hooked me up and my homie with tickets to go watch Antonio Margarito, a top-ranked card. Fuck yeah. We go watch Antonio Margarito. And who's on the undercard? Chavez fucking Jr. And in a rematch against Carlos Molina. If you guys remember, that first fight was a draw. We're there watching fucking, 6 round fights. You know what I'm saying? He's fighting Chavez Jr. We're like, fuck yeah, Chavez, the next generation. And like round 1 goes by, and he's like, all right, he's warming up. Round 2 goes by, he's still warming up, right? Carlos Molina is fucking landing his shots. He's throwing punches. We're into round 4, and we're like, is he losing this fucking fight? Like, I'm like, is he losing? When is he gonna wake up? It's not a 10-round fight. You kind of have to start picking it up. No, it goes the same fucking way. And what happens? Chavez Jr. gets the victory. Oh my. It's so bad. This is a funny story. It's so bad that these fucking Mexican dudes in front of us are talking mad shit to Chavez Jr., right? And Chavez Sr. is there. Sr. turns around and is like, man, what the fuck, right? Hearing all this shit talk about his son. And like one of the guys that hears him talking shit points and rats the guy out. He's like, this guy with the hat right here, this guy with the hat. This motherfucker takes off his hat to hide from fucking Chavez. So it was funny as hell, but we see it happen. We know Chavez did not win that fight. I mean, he got gifted a damn draw the first time against Molina. We're seeing it now. I saw bits and pieces of it. I didn't see the whole fight with Jimuel Pacquiao, but from reports, I'm reading all the comments. I'm hearing reports online saying that he probably shouldn't have won. I guess the best the judges could have done was a draw. So it goes down the record books 0-1 for Mr. Jimuel Pacquiao making his professional debut. Andrew, you did tell me that you watched the fight. Please let us know what you saw and what you thought of the decision.
He speaks good English, right? So he's an educated young man.
Well,
so
do you know if he was born here? I don't know if he wasn't born here.
It doesn't. It just says he's educated, right? So he, obviously multi-language speaking person. So he's educated. Fights out of the gym in LA. So maybe he is from America. Who knows? Who knows? What I seen, Miguel, was a young man that didn't know how to fight, though. It was bad. Like, bro. All right. First off, you guys, you want to know how good he did? Go look at the parents' reaction. Go look at the highlights of the parents sitting ringside. Go look at the highlights of when the final bell rings. Jingy is just like, she just stares. She has this blank look on her face, like she's totally disapproved. I don't think the parents approved of this at all. I really don't.
What, really?
No, yeah, they don't look like they're happy at all from beginning to
end. I
get
that they're not happy, but to say that they didn't approve of it.
Well, you think if they were supporting of the son, they would be standing up clapping just because he completed his dream of becoming a professional fighter, like his father. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you did a hell of a job. Like Manny is like, he's on his seat. Like, is that it? It's only 4 rounds. Like big dude. 0-4. 0-4 is what I had. I don't have a single.
It wasn't a 6-round fight. It was a 4-round.
Yeah, 4-round.
Oh, okay.
It better have been 4. That's all I want. Yeah, it's 4, dude. Don't fucking start, Miguel. But he doesn't win a round.
Oh.
Dude, when the first 2 rounds go by, it seemed like you, dude. I'm like, all right, well, maybe he just started, gonna start late. I would like in round 3, I'm like, he definitely needs these next 2 rounds to get this thing a draw, or it's not a fucking draw. Bro, he doesn't win the name. Matter of fact, I thought he was like the last round is his worst round.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, for like a split second, he was almost doing the whole just shelling up on the fucking ropes, allowing the guy to tee off. He's throwing back, but it's not at the same level as the other guy. The other guy's throwing 4-2, and it's like, how do you have him winning? Yeah, he's fighting back, but it's more of like a fucking I gotta do something than anything else. He's right-handed. He's not southpaw. He does a shoulder roll every once in a while. I thought that was real disrespectful. If I'm Floyd, I'm all over that. I'm like, dude,
tries to do the shoulder roll.
Yeah. Dude, it's like, bro, dude, you know how pissed off you're making your father right now? Will you stop that? He did that every once in a while. I thought he needs to let that go. Get that out of there. That's not respectful to the dad, dude. If you're not gonna take your dad's style, take some type of Filipino fighting style. Do something. Just don't do that one. How about anything fucking else, man?
Yeah. How about underneath the dinner left fucking hook, please? Something like that. Not no like nah, don't do that, please. Don't make it any worse. Don't rub it in.
Don't rub it. Damn, if I'm Floyd, I'm rubbing it in this morning. I'll be highlighting the real out of that bitch, boy.
Oh yeah, dude. He'd be like, "Whose son is that really? Whose son is that really?" Oh,
learn from the best.
Yes. And like, call him.
He should do a side by side. Oh,
some fucked up ass caption, like just like his old man. Like oh,
him just doing it to his dad though.
Yeah. It's like, is that what happened whenever you try to spank your kid? He just kind of let him roll off the shoulder.
Now,
I did it.
This is what I got to say to all men, but mostly professional boxers. I think it's time you guys all put your kids into boxing just in case this bullshit happens. We've seen recently too many times that these young men try to follow their father's footsteps and are fumbling the ball badly, right? Zoo, Chavez,
Ricky Hatton, or
yeah,
Hatton,
exactly. Thank you.
Yeah,
Hatton. Just time and time again, we've seen guys try to follow and it's not working. I can't blame the child. I could only blame the father who babied him his whole life and gave him the silver spoon and the fucking, you're not going to have to fight because I fought. And you know what? Every man needs to be a warrior in their own path in life, right? There is no soft path for us. So I think from here on out, David Benavidez looks like he's got his son doing the right thing. Canelo Alvarez looks like he has his son doing the right thing. Like, these boys are throwing punches at 4 or 5 years of age, 6 years of age. You know, they're young men knowing how to fight, being in the gym. Doesn't mean your son needs to be a punk. Doesn't mean he needs to be a bully, a gang member, none of that. But he should know how to throw a 1, 2, 3, just like his father did. He should know how to dodge a punch, parry a punch, counter, step back. Six should be just like his father. There should no excuse for the way his son was fighting last night besides his dad babied the fuck out of that kid. Now that kid's trying to be a man and he's kind of lost out there doing it. Shame on Manny Pacquiao and shame on all the other dads that think their baby and their son is the right way to go. So all fathers, at some point, your kids, if you want to do kids, that's fine. But all boys should be in some type of combat sport where they literally, it's you versus the kid on the other side. You got to tough it out, man, because at some point in life, that's what the fuck's going to happen to you. It's just what life is. And see, and he should have known how to do that. That's all I got to say. Well, I kept watching this thing like, how can he be this bad? His dad is fucking Manny Pacquiao. You can't throw fucking decent 1, 2, 3. You can't, your head movement, there's no head movement, pivoting off the ropes. He was just hugging. Like, that's all they taught you is the fucking bear hug. Run in and grab him. Your dad used to be a fucking, what is those excited bug? Grasshopper. He was all over the place. Bing, 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 bing. He'd be all over on your ass. Throwing 4 punches at a time, 5 punches at a time. So I blame Manny. I blame Katsia. And I blame Ricky. Rest in peace, Ricky. But, hey, get your kids into fighting because all of them, Spink's son wanted to. Oh, Chavez Sr., blame you. Got to put you in there too. Sorry. I always protect my dad. See how I did that? See how I tried not saying his name, eh? Chavez Sr., too. You're in. Bessie, you're in there because now I hear that the other boy is in rehab. What the fuck, bro?
Oh, yeah.
Whenever you have 2 sons in rehab, you are a terrible father. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. One can be, hey, he's a wild bunch. That kid was always a screw loose. 2, that's the household. Right?
It's the upbringing. It's definitely the upbringing.
Yeah, you did somewhere around the run. Maybe you thought you were doing correct, but you didn't do correct, eh? But that's parenting. So, yeah, so Chavez Sr. is on the list. But no, get them into fighting, especially you guys have the total access to get these young men the best training they can have. Granted, they don't have to go for the fucking Olympics. I'm not saying all these guys need to be, but Jimuel Pacquiao should have been more prepared in the ring than what he showed Saturday night. I can almost guarantee you he was not ready. I don't even know why they did this pro debut. Watch when you watch the fight, bro. I don't know
Well,
why they
I'm
did this
pulling it
pro
up right
debut.
now. You can find it on fucking YouTube, so I'm pulling it up right now.
Yes.
And not even a fucking southpaw. That's all right. That's all right.
Yep. Yep. I know. I know, bro. Like I said, maybe that was him choosing his own path. You know what I mean? But if I'm Manny, I'm making him southpaw and I'm showing him everything that I know at a young age. So I know when he's out with his mother, he can protect her. He could do whatever he has to. Before anything else, these guys should be teaching these kids how to fight just on that level. They're the best fighters in the world. Their son should know how to kick some ass on the street.
Very good point. And it was tough to watch. You know, it wasn't the best. And I get it. You know, he's going to get that push because of the last name, and that's just the way it is. Very few times does it actually work. You know, we're seeing it, I guess, to some degree working with Shane Mosley and Shane Mosley Jr. So there are a few examples out there. Everybody wants to try to emulate that. They're like, oh shit, it worked for them. It has to work for us. But even then, it wasn't like Shane got the major push. You know, it was like he got opportunities because he was with Oscar and whatnot, and he said it himself on the. If you guys check out the short that I have on our YouTube channel talking about the opportunities that arose because he was with Oscar, and he didn't take any shortcuts. That's what you have to do because this kind of main eventing like this, like Manny's son, it's kind of a shortcut. You know, it's his debut, and he's a fucking main event for crying out loud. That's not exactly.
And it was packed.
In the long run. Huh?
And it was packed, bro. When he walks out, the place was packed. Yeah, they still have power. They're definitely the Chavez last name over there because the crowd looked like it was very into the fight for it being a pro debut. Yeah.
Damn.
Hey, I wanted to ask you. Corey Spink's the best one?
Oh, well, is he third generation or second generation?
Oh, I thought the one of the Michaels.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Dad, yeah. So
yeah, he was undisputed welterweight champ.
Right? It's kind of weird. All these years later, it might be Corey. We used to rag on him all the fucking time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah, it could possibly be out of the first bunch of kids. Now we have Eubank and Ben are making their own path right now. They're on good paths to becoming representing their dads. But out of the first bunch, it might be Spinks who came out on top.
Right. Who was it that was nicknamed the Jinx? Is it his pops or was it his uncle? I forgot who the fuck it was.
Yeah, I don't remember which.
I don't remember what his nickname was, if he even had one.
Yeah.
Oh my. All right. So this is a perfect time for me to toss in our videos sponsor here. Health Isol soap, tallow-based soap. Make sure to check them out. If you find anything you like on their website, make sure to use the code MADBoxing10 at checkout and get yourself 10% off of your purchase, or follow the link in the affiliate link that we're going to have in the description. One more time, hit them up. Health Isol tallow-based soap. They have some good shit there. So make sure to check them out. And we appreciate it, everybody who does. All right. Now we're going to get into, it's officially fight week for Lamont Roach versus Pitbull Cruz that is going to be taking place this weekend. Let me go ahead and pull up my fight card here, because it's not a bad fight card, right? Let me see where I can pull this up here real quick. I knew I took a screenshot of it here somewhere. We got, of course, the main event, Cruz versus Lamont Roach for the interim WBC super lightweight champion, 140 pounds. We have Erislandy Lara taking on Johnny Beck, whose last name I can never pronounce, so I'm not even going to try butchering it. That is a middleweight unification bout. Johnny Beck has both the IBF and WBO belts. Lara has the WBA belt. So pretty much the winner of this one is going to become, I guess, the Ring Magazine middleweight champ. And I suspect Terrence Crawford might be at ringside to catch this one. At least that's what it seems like. O'Shaquie Foster taking on Stephen Fulton Jr. That'll be for the WBC super featherweight title. Jesus Ramos Jr. versus the aforementioned Shane Mosley Jr. on that one, amongst other ones. So it's going to be on Amazon Prime Video pay-per-view, and I believe it starts I think the early bout starting at 3 or something like that, like the preliminaries. So we're going to talk about the important ones, right? I guess I should say we can start off with the main event, but the undercard is pretty solid, huh? Andrew, we got Jesus Ramos Jr., Shane Mosley, O'Shaquie Foster, and Stephen Fulton Jr. before we get to the co-main event. But those are some pretty solid fights, huh?
Yeah, no, definitely a good fight card. One I'm interested in big time. Really liking the last two fights there with Jean Beck and Lara because of the implications that it has with Terrence Crawford involved. I would rather see Terrence Crawford move down and go for the 4 division, undisputed or unified, rather than the rematch with Canelo. I actually like the Canelo Shiraz fight more. Yeah.
Oh, Shiraz.
Shiraz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I see.
Instead of the rematch?
Yeah, instead of the rematch, because that's more. Terrence is not staying at super middleweight, so why are we ripping off the fans one more time? You know what I mean? Like, let's move on with their respected careers. Terrence, you go back down and do whatever you're going to do at middleweight or junior middleweight, and Canelo has only about 2 more fights at best left in him. Especially if his next fight is he takes another L. I totally don't see Canelo coming back from another loss. I think that would be it for him. So I would say move on with their careers. And Shiraz has a good win over Berlanga. Yeah, Berlanga. And if he was to defeat Canelo, what a jump start to his career. You know what I mean? And then vice versa. At least Canelo gets back on the winning track and then looks to recapture the super middleweight division or move up and rematch one of those guys and call it a day. Not rematch Bivol or fight Better Beef and call it a day.
Yeah. That one looks pretty interesting. I'm down for the co-main event. We can take a look at real quick. The odds that I have is for specifically the main event because that's what popped up here on my end. But Jesus Ramos versus Shane Mosley. I interviewed Shane Mosley. I had the fortune of being invited to being invited to a media workout that was Shane Mosley and Lara and even some other people on the undercard. Isaac Lucero, who's going to be supposedly, there's a lot of pressure on this young man to be the next like superstar, Mexican superstar. So he's going to be on the undercard. Isaac Lucero, his name is, and then Luis Nunez, who's also going to be on the undercard, Cuban fighter who was going after the featherweights. But anyway, Jesus Ramos Jr. and then Shane Mosley. That was going to be pretty dope. What do you think about that one? That was going to be pretty fun, huh?
Yes, Ramos and Molina. Mosley.
Yeah.
No, Ramos is the one that beat Jesse Ramos. Who's his significant Campos? Who's his significant win on?
Let me see. Let me pull him up real quick.
Or am I thinking about Campos? No, he's the one that lost to Spence, right? In the 1 round.
Yeah. It was. Let me see. Shit. I mean, he's got some victories, but he beat Brian Mendoza. That means something.
Yeah,
he lost to Erickson Lubin.
Okay.
That Rosario guy, the guy they call Banana. Those are his primary.
Those are the 2 big wins, though, because I think it was one of those were on the undercard of a big PBC bout. That's what got him his most. I remember the Jesse Ramos name off of a huge fight, and I think it's the first one.
Oh, hold on. It might be his brother though, because there's 2
Abel?
Ramos. Yeah, it might be that guy. Hold on. Yeah, because I think let me just double check because I think he was the one. I could be wrong, but I'm double checking right now. Oh yeah, it was him and fucking Barrios. That was a great fucking fight on the undercard. Yeah. Right.
They pulled a fast one on us.
I know, right? They sure did. It was that one that ended up being, I think, a draw or something like that. But it was on one. I don't remember if it was like Canelo or something, or maybe it was another Jake Paul. It might have been Jake Paul. Undercard. Jake Paul and Tyson, that's something like that, or Chavez Jr. something like that. But anyway,
still the wins with Rosario at that time, and then the other young man that you said. What's the first win that he had on the PBC?
Let me see. Brian Mendoza.
Because Mendoza beat someone.
He beat fucking Fundora.
Fundora. See, I'm still thinking it was that fight, bro. I think it's that fight where Ramos showed out to be a good fight on that night. Both of them threw down hard on their bout. So yeah, that's a decent fight. I'm going with Ramos. I would take Ramos to beat Mosley. Mosley, I believe, has benefited more off of his father's name than his skills. And this is the type of fighter Ramos is not a pushover. He's a veteran guy. He only eats what he creates. That's not a guy that's going to take a dive for anybody. You understand? So I will start my card off, my parlay ticket with a big upset. Let's go Mendoza by just Mendoza straight up.
Ramos. Okay.
Ramos, excuse me, Ramos. Yeah, that shows a lot of confidence. They're like, he didn't even know his name. He didn't even fucking know his name.
Yeah. It's like, put money on that Molina guy. What the fuck his name is? Like, not enough. Ramos.
Aubrey doesn't want my phone call.
I know, right? It's like who the fuck calling me? Andrew, no, fuck. Go to straight to voice message. Fuck this. Fuck the motherfucker. That one's gonna be fun to watch.
I got a call out of the blue for the Canelo Crawford fight. Yeah, dude. And I think he was I don't even think he was in the country. Yep. Oh, yes. I used to get those phone calls all the time when I was young. I had a few guys that always took my predictions, right?
Yeah.
And this was one of them. He owned restaurants, Mexican restaurants in Vegas, and he called me for Canelo fucking Crawford, and I gave him my prediction. That man won out of the blue, bro. You know what I mean?
What restaurants? God damn it, we gotta figure out. We gotta.
No, I think he moved. I think he's in Mexico now. Yeah, I think he went back over there to set up shop, if I'm not mistaken. Probably retire. You know what I mean? But what a lifeline, huh? Out of the blue, he calls me. Bam! Give him a good plug. Yeah, just like old times, eh? Bing! That fucking kid. Hey, and he used to be 702. So that used to be one of my knocks. I used to tell everyone, look, Las Vegas is calling me. Look, Las Vegas is calling me. Yeah. That used to be
They want my picks. I'm a fucking handicapper now.
Hey, I told you I had a conversation. After I had a conversation to be a handicapper for the Fitzgerald, for old Las Vegas. When they first remodeled that, me and Christina got taken the top to Mandalay Bay to go to a HBO after party. And
that's right. You talking about that, yeah.
I was on a balcony, dude. Yes, sir. But I fucking blew it, Miguel. I wanted to get into boxing. Here I am, 2025, with a cup of coffee in my bedroom.
Yeah, right. Like trying to hope my son gets us out of the situation. Get Junior in the fucking camp again. Get him back in the gym.
Life decisions.
Yeah, I know. We can all look back at it and be like, man, I should have turned left when I turned right. One of those kind of things. Trust me, we all have them. That's why we're here.
Yes, sir.
But we're doing it. We still got time to course correct. That's what we're doing right now. That one's gonna be fun. I'm not sure if that's the pay-per-view opener or not, but that one's gonna be fun. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably it might be the pay-per-view opener. Shaqy Foster and Stephen Fulton Jr. That one's gonna be fun as fuck. Yeah, that one's gonna be hella good. Shaqy Foster being borrowed, being lent, I should say, by Top Rank, because he's the top rank guy on this PBC card. Stephen Fulton, PBC guy himself. So for the WBC, let's see, super featherweight, so 130 pounders. Unfortunately, 130 pounds isn't getting a lot of noise right now. This one's gonna definitely wake some people up, because it's kind of like featherweights are kind of like hot shit right now, and even like 135 pounders are hot shit right now. 130 is kind of in the middle. So I don't know, and if I'm not mistaken, this might be Fulton's move up to 130 pounds, because I think he was at 126 most recently. I think his rematch with Figueroa, with Brandon Figueroa, was at 126 featherweight. So he's moving up to 130 for this one. And O'Shaqui is going to be defending his WBC title on this one here. I want to say this is where, if I'm not mistaken, what's his name? Emmanuel Navarrete is still at 130. I'm not sure if he's moved to 135 yet, but I'm down to see Navarrete fight either one of these fucking guys if it turns out that way, because I recently saw that Navarrete will be fighting, I think, in December. I'm not sure. It's in one of those like top ranked cards that we kind of have to look up somewhere or something like that. But he's fighting soon. It'll be tight if he can get the winner of this fight, because this one is really entertaining, or it should be, I should say. This one, what do you think takes this one? I mean, again, Stephen Fulton is moving up to 130 on this one. So Shaki's kind of, I think, is probably the favorite in this one. But who do you think takes this one?
Man, I didn't get to look it up. I wasn't fast enough.
Oh, sorry.
Look, I think Foster might be a plant from Top Rank. Don't you remember there was a moment where Top Rank was trying to match him up with someone? Once they gave him the title, I'm forgetting on who they fucking fumbled the ball with Foster. Was it Stevenson? It was one of their guys that I think they were trying to set it up, and it just never happens. What I'm trying to say is I don't know if Foster is a legit champ or if he was given that belt to be bait food for another guy coming down the pipeline at Top Rank. And that's what we're going to find out on Saturday, because Fulton is no joke. Fulton has already had the 2 good fights with Figueroa and the one hell of a fight with Inoue, right?
Yeah.
So I'm leaning towards Fulton, and I really never do that. You know, I'm heavy on Top Rank over PBC,
yeah.
But just because I didn't see enough of Foster, and he was kind of like, I think that title was a vacant title shot, if I'm not mistaken, and it was against another Top Rank fucking recycled fighter, they kept using. So I'm going to lean more on PVC this time. I'm going to go Fulton by decision over Foster for the title. And also, did you ever see that story that Fulton has out there about when he lost to Inoue? It was either he heard his family, somehow he found out someone in his family said some shit like, well, there goes our house or our future.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, he said he heard that. And so I think he has a chip on his shoulder, right? And this is his get back moment, right? This is put everything back on track. Let's go. I'm going Stephen Fulton with the chip on the shoulder. Yes, sir.
All right. I might have to back you up on that one, because I've seen some fights from O'Shaki, and plenty of them. And he's a good fighter. I'm not going to say he isn't, but there are times where he doesn't seem to have any sort of urgency. Like, there are some close fights that he was in, and I'm like, dude, you kind of have to pick it up to really seal the deal. He ends up winning, so I mean, I could be wrong there, but there are just some times where I'm like, dude, he needs to pick it up. He doesn't seem to pick it up a lot, and for whatever reason, it just doesn't seem like he ups it up the notch, and I think Fulton can do that. Fulton, dude, his fights with fucking Figueroa, at least the first one, he got the victory, although that was close. The second one, he fucking took that motherfucker to school. Coming off of that victory, man, he's right now, his confidence is at an all-time high, I think. And going into this fight, the fact that he is moving up from 126 to 130, that kind of concerns me a little bit. But considering that Foster isn't exactly a knockout puncher at 130 or anything like that, he's not the kind of guy that will like walk you down per se. I think Fulton can get this decision. I don't know if it'll be a unanimous decision. It might be a split, but I think Fulton walks away with the belt in this one. This one's a good one. I'm looking forward to this one so much. But I think Fulton actually gets that one as well.
Yeah, so Foster actually loses his first shot at the title against Robson Conceição.
Oh, okay. Oh, and
then had to rematch him to get his title. So you see what I'm saying about the whole
Yeah.
Yeah, has no really Ray Vargas. Well, he beat Ray Vargas. That's a decent win. He has a decision victory over Ray Vargas is what got him started. Isn't Ray Vargas the long PBC guy?
No. Ray Vargas is like the tall, lanky top.
That's what I mean. Oh, he was top rank.
Yeah, he's top
okay.
Rank, yeah.
All right. I do remember that name though.
I remember him moving up to 135 to fight somebody, and then it didn't work out. He moved back down. I don't remember the specifics, but yeah, or the other way around. Maybe he was a featherweight and moved up to 130. I don't remember the specifics, but I want to say he was a top ranked, fairly certain. Okay.
So far I have Ramos by
this was Ramos,
beating and then Mosley, and we have, who did we just say?
Foster and Fulton. Oh yeah, Fulton over Foster. Yeah.
Fulton over Foster. All right. What's next?
All right. So we get to the nitty-gritty. This one's gonna be good. Erislandy Lara defending his WBA middleweight title against Johnny Beck and his WBO and IBF middleweight titles. This one, man, Lara is a heavy underdog at it varies, but from what I'm reading here, between plus 325 and plus 400, with Johnny Beck coming in as a heavy favorite at between minus 450 and minus 600, if anywhere between those right there. So heavy favorite, understandably so. Johnny Beck is a powerful motherfucker. He's basically a new Triple G pretty much. And considering Lara at this point in his career, he doesn't have the legs that he used to have, so he doesn't move as much. He's been kind of forced to plant his feet and exchange a lot more. Specifically with Jared Hurd, I want to say specifically that fight, I thought he was going to win, and he fucking lost it. He got dropped, I think, one time, probably two. But the fact that he doesn't move as much when you're sitting duck against a guy who's got fucking pop like Johnny Beck does, that doesn't look too good. So I'm not sure how he gets past this one, especially with how much of an underdog he is. But I mean, you guys can sort of kind of see where I'm going with this one. But Andrew, what do you think about this one? Who takes it?
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you just said, dude. With Lara not moving, he's a sitting duck for this young champion. This guy on the up. Well, Lara has not been on the up for a while.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and say Jana Beck by unanimous decision. And just to make it clear, because I want to spice up the bet, I would take Ramos to stop Mosley, Fulton to decision Foster, and with this guy, Janovec, how do you say his name? Unfreeze, Miguel. Bing. Miguel's frozen. Hold on. Maybe he comes back. But I'll take Janovec. I'm going to just take him over Lara. I'm going to say decision over Lara. Come on, Miguel. Ay. Hopefully he comes back. We'll see how this goes. Last one we have would be Roach and Cruz. I could tell you right now with Miguel on frozen that I would lean probably to Lamont Roach. You know I'm going to lean to Roach. Roach is taller, better boxer, better skill, beat Tank, drop Tank. So, yeah, Miguel just hung up. So I'm sure he is going to call us back here in a few minutes, and we'll get him back online. But, yeah, I'm leaning towards Roach, Lamont on the main event. I love Cruz to death, but I think his face-forward style is a perfect style for a puncher boxer, like what Roach is. So I expect Roach to use the ring, half steps, pivots, counters, right? Do all the fun stuff to technically break down Isaac Cruz and Cruz to a unanimous decision. There he is.
I'm back. Sorry.
What's up, bro? You're good.
I'm back up. Okay, go ahead. You're saying.
I was saying that I believe I am taking Lamont Roach to decision Isaac Cruz on Saturday night. And just for the listen, I've always taken boxers over punchers. Lamont comes in with like a 3-inch height advantage, a 4-inch reach advantage, a win over Tank Davis. I know it's only a draw, but in my opinion, I thought he did enough to take that fight. He also might have dropped Tank. Like, Lamont does a lot of great things in the Tank fight that Isaac Cruz doesn't do when he fights Tank. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to happen on Saturday night, but when you ask me who I'm laying my money on, I'm going to go with the boxer puncher to take out the face first, Isaac Cruz. Oh, by decision, not by knockout.
All right. So he doesn't stop him. All right. I wanted to pull up the odds here real quick for that one. Lamont Roach versus Cruz. Go. That was because I had disconnected, I didn't get your decision on the Lara and Johnny Beck. What was the decision on that one?
Yeah, for that one, I am
Okay.
No, you're there. You're there. For that one, I am taking Jana Beck by decision. I don't want to pull. I think Lara is going to fight defense first and try to get to 12. I don't see him going balls to the walls. So let's hope that he has enough in the tank to go 12. I bet, and that one I might even just. Oh, you said he's a heavy favorite though, huh? Janabek, Miguel. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, like between like 450 to 600. Yeah.
yeah, that's a hard one. I'd have to be at the probably take him by decision. It'd be fucked up if that ruins my parlay ticket because I really don't know if I want to go decision or stoppage. So I'd probably just take him straight up, even though it's not going to help the ticket at all. I'm a little too nervous to say decision or knockout, just not having that much knowledge on him.
All right. So for the Lamont Roach and Isaac Cruz, so Roach is the favorite, ranging between.
Oh, Miguel just got kicked off the platform that time. That was weird. He'll call back. There he is.
All right. I don't know what the fuck's going on my internet. It's not windy, so my bad. But I'm gonna try to. Why is my camera not on? What's going on?
I can hear you and you sound good, bro.
All right, cool. All right, let me go ahead and try to get through this so we can, because I don't know, my internet looks like it's working, so I'm not sure what the fuck's going on. But Lamont Roach, the heavy favorite, or I'll say heavy, but minus 230 to minus 275 is what we're looking at for Roach. For Cruz being the underdog, plus 180 to plus 210. So I'm not sure if that kind of sways you in one direction or the other. This one is a tough one. I am like you, Andrew, that I do generally like to go or root for the boxer over like the puncher, but Isaac Cruz is something else, man. I don't know. Something tells me that, and mind you, this is Lamont Roach's first fight at 140 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. He's moving up from 135 here. Whether or not those 5 pounds make a difference, I don't know, because really Cruz himself is really naturally 135er anyway. But he's got the pop. He almost got what's his name? Jose Valenzuela out of there. Unfortunately, he lost that one because he got outboxed. So maybe Lamont Roach will have some will jot down some tips from that particular fight with Isaac Cruz and Jose Valenzuela. But I think Cruz might be able to get him out of there, dude. I don't know. Something about Roach. I know going into that fight with Gervonta, we all didn't. I mean, most of us didn't give Lamont Roach a fucking chance. We're like, damn it, it's gonna be another Frank Martin type of fight. He's gonna be doing okay early on, and then Tank is gonna catch him at the end, and he never did. So I was like, fuck, man. I was surprised. I thought he was gonna get caught with something. Maybe I'm going to the well too many times. I think he might get caught with something here. As crazy as it may sound, I think Isaac, I mean, he's an underdog, but he's not that much of an underdog, enough to maybe put some money on him, maybe. But I suspect he might catch. And it's going to be in the middle rounds. I'm thinking kind of around I'm trying to remember when Isaac Cruz or what round he finished Rolly Romero in, but I'm going to say 7, maybe 7, 8. I think he might be able to crack Roach on that one. And I'm probably going out on a limb here, but I'm going to say Cruz is probably going to be able to finish him. 7, 8 rounds. I think he's going to be able to crack him, and down goes Lamont Roach on this one. So I'm going to go with Isaac Cruz by TKO on this one. I think he can pull it off. All right. So anything else you wanted to add to that pay-per-view card in particular?
Well worth the money. That's what I'll add. That will be my final call on that one. Al Heyman put together a pretty good pay-per-view card there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let me see. I'm not sure how much even this pay-per-view is, but I'm pulling it up right now. Let me see here. Here we go. Oh yeah, so it is going to be from San Antonio, live on Prime Video, of course, Amazon pay-per-view Prime. When I pulled up the card on the ESPN website, which is where they normally have like the fight schedule, they doesn't specify what time it'll start or anything like that. So I'm not entirely sure how early it'll start. But let me see here. Pay-per-view. Here we go. Right now. All right. So the pay-per-view card itself starts at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let me see if it'll get me a fucking price here on the BBC. And for some reason, my fucking internet is slow as hell right now, which is why it's acting up. But It does start at 5 p.m. For some reason, it's not giving me a price. Come on now, buy it now. Well, more often than not, it's gonna be what, fucking 70,
70.
$75 usually, right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
So it is going to be this weekend, Saturday the 6th, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure to check your local listing for the prices. Certainly wish it'll be a little bit cheaper considering we got, quite a few fucking fights coming up here. I think, is that going to be oh yeah, because Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua are going to be on free Netflix, right? So that we don't got to fork up any money. If you already have a subscription to Netflix, you don't have to fork up any money for that. So this is probably the last main card of the year, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, $79.95, $80. Ooh,
Damn.
okay, yeah, I know that's it. So I mean, you can decide whether or not it's worth the $80 to fork up the cash. If it wasn't I mean, again, maybe $5 won't make me or break me because I was thinking in the $75 range, but apparently it's $80. Whatever. You guys can make the decision at the end of the day whether or not you guys want to fork up that kind of cash. But 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we will get Lamont Roach versus Cruz this Saturday. All right. Well, besides that, I think that pretty much wraps it up. If there is any news, anything that comes up between now and then, specifically Jake Paul pulling out of the fucking fight, maybe between now and Wednesday, we will make sure to have a show ready for you guys on Wednesday to talk about whatever shit's going on, of course, amongst other stuff. If there isn't enough news, well, unfortunately, we'll just have to skip on Wednesday, but we will do our best to come at you guys on Wednesday. Andrew, anything else you want to add to this before we call it a show?
No, I was actually looking for breaking news, looking for a Jake Paul announcement, and as of right now, the fight is still on.
All right. And we'll see how that works out, come this Wednesday, by the time our next show comes up, to see if it's still on or not. But until then, I hope everybody had a happy and safe Thanksgiving and you guys didn't overindulge. I mean, I should say you did overindulge because it's the one time of the year or the couple of times of the year are the holidays that we overindulge. So hopefully you guys had a great Thanksgiving. That is going to wrap it up for this one. If there's news on Wednesday, we'll see you. Oh, sorry.
His name is Ben Whitaker.
Oh.
My bad. Did I call him Lance earlier? I think I called him Lance.
It doesn't fucking matter. Does it matter? Does anybody know?
I don't want to email. Hope you heard it. Sorry,
angry
dude.
letters, angry like motherfucker. Watch it be like that one dude who was like, "Monty Muff is the future."
Yes.
Ben
Whitaker won this weekend. The face of DAZN.
Right. So on that note, for my co-host Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapache, I am Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, and this has been the Mad Boxing Show. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys next time. Take care. Peace.